I've got that One Direction infection. When I started to get more serious into collecting CDs about a year and a half ago, one of my first goals was to complete my One Direction CD collection. And I thought that would be fairly easy because I already own two of them. The others I picked up here and there as I went to record stores. And then I remembered that deluxe editions existed. And specifically with One Direction, every single one of their deluxe tracks is absolutely phenomenal. So I needed that on physical media as well. And also, I did not realize how many of my favorite songs from One Direction are their deluxe tracks because when you stream the music, they just immediately put the deluxe version of the album as like the default. And so you don't think about it until you buy the CD and you're like, my favorite song's missing on here. I can't say that's happened too many times for me, but it happened a lot with One Direction. So then that led me to eBay one day, and $90 later, I have nearly all of One Direction's songs, released songs, on CD. And so I thought it would be fun to do a little deep dive into the CDs that I have, from the yearbook versions to the deluxe tracks to all the little booklets and things inside. And all of this started because I didn't have Wolves on CD. When it comes to One Direction variants, which, yeah, a lot of artists do this, but I've noticed this specifically with One Direction as I've been collecting these albums, is there are so many different variants. There's the original album, and then there's the yearbook version, and then there's the souvenir, and then there's the deluxe, and then there's just so many different versions. So by no means do I have all of them, but I do have the vast majority of the songs that came in all these albums. I think I'm only missing 3 songs, and I'm okay with that. Going in chronological order from when the albums were released, we are of course starting with Up All Night. My friend Anna got this for me for Christmas a couple of years back, and I thought it was so perfect. At this point, I only had one other One Direction CD in my collection, and this definitely sparked me to complete my collection, and I absolutely love it. She found it when she was thrifting, which is so fun. Here's the booklet with the lyrics and songs inside, as well as the iconic yet slightly awkward photo shoots. And this CD has 13 tracks on it, including What Makes You Beautiful, One Thing, and I Wish. Well, maybe I Wish is probably not one of like the highlighted songs from here. Probably Everything About You, and of course Up All Night, but I Wish is one of my favorites from here. And then we have the deluxe album. So I specifically picked out the Mexican Souvenir edition because, like I said, there are so many different variants, specifically when it comes to different countries. And Mexico is the one that had the track that I was looking for, specifically 2 tracks. So this was definitely my hardest to track down. How many times can I say track? My goodness. But so worth it. Let's do a little side by side. So the hues on these are a little different, and then I love that this one has the little note on it. And then the booklet inside gives a little bit about each member, and I especially love all of the lyric pages in here. I feel like they are a little more creative and fun versus the classic one in the first original CD. And this souvenir edition has 18 tracks, so the 5 extra tracks are Stand Up, Moments, Another World, Na Na Na, and I Should Have Kissed You. And I specifically wanted the Mexico Souvenir edition because that one was the only one I could find that included Na 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 and I Should Have Kissed You. Ironically, my favorite songs off of like the entirety of this album, Na 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 I love unironically, and I Should Have Kissed You is probably my favorite track from the entire album. So I was very specific looking for this one, and I'm so happy that I found it. Moving on to Take Me Home. This is actually one of the first CDs I ever got, point blank period. And I think this was the first CD that I ever got that was not just like a Disney Channel soundtrack. I got this for Christmas. I don't know, when did this album come out? 2012? So I got it for Christmas 2012 from a friend, and I cannot count how many times I have listened to this album. And if you asked me and I really thought about it, this might be my favorite album, and I think it's just because I have the most nostalgia towards it. Here is a look at the lyric book and some of the pictures inside. And for a while, I actually thought I lost this one. I could not find it when I started collecting CDs, but thankfully my mom found it. And then, of course, I had to get the yearbook edition to add on my missing songs. Now, Take Me Home, like Up All Night, has multiple different variants, and there are technically 3 songs that I am missing from Take Me Home. That was kind of like a deluxe deal, but I don't listen to those songs that much, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on it too terribly much. But here is a look inside. My only dislike about the Take Me Home yearbook edition is that the CD does not say anything on it. It looks exactly like this CD, and I normally keep my CDs in a case all together, so I'm gonna have to find a way to split these up or write on it or keep them in different places. I don't know. That's my only issue with this CD. And just like the name, it is a very yearbook style, lots of pictures with fans and from their first year of touring and really just being, in the spotlight. So this yearbook edition does not mention the songs literally at all in here. There's no lyric book or anything. So this one is including 4 deluxe tracks that are not on the original CD, which are She's Not Afraid, Loved You First, Nobody Compares, and Still the One. Of the 4 deluxe tracks, She's Not Afraid is probably my favorite. And from the original 13, Kiss You is one that I listened to a lot when I was younger, but now maybe I Would. I think I Would is my favorite. Now we are moving on to their 3rd studio album, which is Midnight Memories. And this one is the one that I hit the jackpot on in the first go. I got the Ultimate Edition when I was first collecting these CDs, so I did not have to go out of my way to find any of the deluxe versions. So here we have the CD, and this one's called the Ultimate Edition. I think it's so silly, but also so fun that a lot of them are called different names like Souvenir Edition, Yearbook Edition, Deluxe, Ultimate. It's so silly, but I honestly love it. And then here is the books with all of the pictures inside and fun little things, little notes from the members, and a thank you. And then here are all 18 tracks on the Ultimate Edition. I unfortunately do not know off the top of my head which ones are the specific deluxe tracks, though they usually stick to around 12 or 13 songs on the original album, so we can assume that Better Than Words, Why Don't We Go There, Does He Know, Alive, and Half a Heart are on the deluxe tracks, though I could totally be wrong, and you can tell me that. Just let me know. But my favorite songs on here, oh gosh, probably Diana, Happily, and I don't know, maybe Through the Dark. There are too many bangers on all of these albums. I feel like this one is the hardest one for me to pick a favorite song off of it. But I do remember singing Best Song Ever with my middle school choir, and so I can't listen to that song too much because middle school memories. No one wants to relive that. Made it to the 4th studio album for this is, I think, one of the first ones that I picked up when I was actually collecting them, which is so cool. And this one was actually pre-owned, so I got a discount on it, which is such a win. I love this album. It's so hard for me to pick a favorite album, to be honest. So these are the 12 tracks that were on here. Clouds Supremacy. That song is phenomenal. It's great. I love it so much. But I also love Fool's Gold, Stockholm Syndrome, Fireproof, No Control. Don't ask me. I love all of them. Okay, maybe this is the hardest album for me to pick my favorite song from. And then for this one, I also got the yearbook style edition, but this one's called the Ultimate Edition, just like Midnight Memories. And when I got this one, it was still in its packaging. So I luckily have the exclusive bonus tracks right here, which are Change Your Ticket, Illusion, once in a lifetime and Act My Age. I really wanted this for Act My Age specifically. And a great part about this CD is that it says the Ultimate Edition on it. I'm pretty sure it's just Take Me Home that has that issue. Here is a look inside. There's a note from the band. I love all the personal touches in all of these. And then the photo shoots that are just screaming 2014 from the fans. So cute. Oh my God, what a time. What a time. And now we have made it to Made in the AM. This is a specific CD that led me on to this deluxe track journey. I did unfortunately recently break this. I can only blame myself for that, but everything else is in great condition. So here's the CD, and I always love it when there's an image behind the CD in the case. I feel like that's just such a fun touch, even if it's the same picture as the cover. And then here is the booklet. This one has all the songwriting credits inside and pictures. What a time. I mean, I feel like each of these eras and albums is just like the definition of the year that they came out. Like I look at this and I'm like, yeah, this is so 2015. And then here are the 13 tracks on the original album. My favorites would probably be Hey Angel and Long Way Down, but I also love History. And History I sang at my senior year choir show. Obviously, in high school, everyone in choir was obsessed with One Direction, as we all should have been. But I don't have any hard feelings toward this song because I sang it in my high school choir, unlike middle school. I feel like it's because we got to choose History and we did not get to choose Best Song Ever. I don't know. I was also an angsty little 13-year-old, so who knows. And then here is the deluxe edition. It still has all of its fun little stickers on it and a little summer giveaway. Wow. And this is the only one that's in what I would call kind of the soft packaging or the paper packaging versus the plastic jewel case. Obviously, these books are like book material, but in terms of like just the CD case, this one's in paper, cardboard, whatever you want to call it. So it does have a trifold on the inside, which I think is so cool. And of course, we have all of the cute notes from the members. Over here is the CD. And this one does say deluxe edition on it. And then as always, the booklet. This one has all of the lyrics. It seems to be pretty 50-50 if the lyrics are in the little booklet or not. I always prefer it when they are, but I mean, just cool visuals that go with the album are great as well. And then here are the 17 tracks in the deluxe album. So the extra tracks are Temporary Fix, Walking in the Wind, Wolves, and AM, which is so crazy for starters that AM is a deluxe track because the album's called Made in the AM. But one of my absolute favorite One Direction songs is Wolves. You guys just don't get it like I do. And I didn't even realize that Temporary Fix and Walking in the Wind, another couple of my favorite songs off this album. I think we could just, it's safe to say that all these songs are my favorite songs. But it was so crazy to me that these are on the deluxe tracks and not a part of like the album. I just always think it's so interesting when artists pick out which deluxe tracks are deluxe and which ones make it onto the album, especially when, you know, you're looking for older albums, like not complete newer releases, when genuinely, because of streaming, because as soon as the deluxe version of an album is put out, you can only stream the deluxe tracks in theory, which does kind of bother me. Does that bother anyone else? I feel like I'm kind of alone in this, but sometimes I just want to listen to the original album and not the deluxe album. I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but it's definitely been a journey collecting all of these, and I'm happy to say that I am very happy and content with where I am with my One Direction CD collection. So yay, this was so fun to look at all of them. And so those are my 9 One Direction CDs, my One Direction CD collection. I don't know if I will dabble into the One Direction vinyls. I'm pretty sure only 4 and Made in the AM for sure have vinyls, and then the others either they don't have it or it was like a very limited pressing. But thanks so much for watching. Any excuse I get to talk about physical media, I will take, especially when it's about One Direction. I've always loved them, but specifically in the last, like, I don't know, month or two, I've been like falling back down the rabbit hole of like One Direction Imagines and like the cringiness of it all. Polybore outfits. Yeah, yeah. I might have to re-download Wattpad, but we'll see about that. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know how to end this video. Na 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 Supremacy. I love that song. You can't make me hate it, okay? You can't.